But first, straight out to reporter Marcello Rolando on the ground in Charlottesville. Marcello, what is the latest? What's the reaction in Charlottesville to this explosive new development?
Well, it's a reaction of extremes. I got to tell you, everyone on the street is wondering, does this mean that Hannah's not coming home? And the media is going crazy, understandably. But the police statement goes right up to the edge and not quite step over the line. It says there is forensic evidence, which is a pretty heavy-duty word, as you pointed out. Forensic means something serious, something scientific, but they don't quite commit to what that means. However, I've been reporting for 5 years on Jill Harrington, and she's not the type to deal in hyperbole. So if she says the state police told her something, frankly I believe her.
All right. Thank you so much. Lisa Lockwood, investigator, author, Undercover Angel, a forensic link. That does not mean videotape. That does not mean somebody talking. That means something scientific. What are they talking about?
This can be a myriad of things. Possibly they found skin cells underneath her nails, possible blood from him that was transferred onto his body as she tried to fight for her life. A hair strand, anything like that. One of the things, if I may add, it took about 3 months for them to find Morgan's body, and I know they're doing what they can to go ahead and try and find Graham's body, but they need to look at the clues they had with how far he dumped that body in order to find Heather.
Well, there are many similarities between Morgan Harrington's abduction and murder and Hannah Graham's unsolved abduction. Both crimes occurred in the very same town, Charlottesville, Virginia. One happened in September, one in October. They're 5 years apart. Both women have a very similar look. They could be sisters. Both are pretty, young, blonde. Both are university students. Both were partying and drinking, starting the night with friends, ending up alone. Morgan, and outdoors. Morgan was at a Metallica concert when she got separated from her friends, left the arena, repeatedly denied re-entry. So she's by herself. She's had something to drink. They see her walking alone, neighbors and friends do, on a nearby road. Hannah was at a party with friends. When she decided to leave alone, she ended up wandering around downtown Charlottesville alone, supposedly in search of another party. She ran into Jesse Matthew, and witnesses saw her with Jesse Matthew at a restaurant. So if Jesse Matthew is responsible for Morgan's murder and Hannah's disappearance, is there a clear-cut pattern there? Wendy Murphy, former prosecutor.
Yeah, you don't have to give me much more than the fact that he's connected in a meaningful way to both cases. I don't necessarily think the victims involved have to have been involved in any particular kind of conduct to look at this guy as a potential pattern offender. Let's remember, he was thrown out of Liberty University as a football player, bumped, gone. Why? Alleged sexual assault of another woman. I mean, come on, how many bites at the apple does one bum get? That's what I see here, a pattern of not just bad behavior, but getting away with it.
Well, let me ask you this. First of all, he deserves his day in court. Let's not rush and convict this person. But I got to ask you, Adam Thompson, given all of this, given the fact that Morgan Harrington's parents, when her bones were found in a field, I think it's about 10 miles away from Charlottesville, and it was clear that her killer had been violent with her, had shattered her bones, this young lady's bones. And Morgan's parents, who were my heroes, warned the world. They said, we believe there's a predator roaming the streets of Charlottesville who could be targeting University of Virginia co-eds. This was several years ago. Could the authorities have done something wrong, something more to protect those co-eds so that Hannah Graham would not have been abducted?
Well, you would think in an act of good faith, the local law enforcement would do things like that. And as we see, certainly different from back then till now, there appears to be a lot more of a video link. So cameras, obviously, from back then till now have been put in place that we were able to trace the paths in the newer case with Hannah. We didn't have that back then.